So last class we studied that what is the separation techniques, like separation of mixture of two solids. If two solids are present, like you can see, how we can separate it by using a suitable solvent, we can separate it, or by the process of sublimation we can separate it, or by using a magnet. Now the thing which we are going to study in our today's class is a separation of mixture of a solid and a liquid. Means a solid is dissolved or may not dissolve, but a solid and a what? Second one is what? Yesterday both are solids, but today what it is? Separation of mixture of a solid and a solid. Solid and a liquid. Write it. Separation of mixture of a solid. Separation of a mixture of solid and water. Mixture of solid and a liquid. Shall we study now, everybody? So now observe very carefully. Now itself I am saying solid and a liquid. So what is our mixture containing? Our mixture containing what? Solid plus liquid. So that is what it is. Now my question is it solid and liquid? Means is it soluble solid or unsoluble solid? Akilan, Arun, Kailas, soluble or insoluble solid or insoluble solid? Maybe soluble solid or maybe insoluble solid. Do you understand, everybody? Yes, please. All of you.
Sir.
Yeah. So that is what you have to remember. So it may be insoluble or maybe soluble also. Let me take first one. Maybe insoluble. Do you understand, everyone? What do you mean by insoluble? Is it dissolved or not? Nobody will answer.
No, sir.
No. But here soluble. So is it possible to use the insoluble solid and soluble solid, both the technique, same technique? Is it possible to use? Yes, please. Nobody will answer. No, it is not possible to separate insoluble and soluble solids. Do you understand, everybody? Insoluble and soluble solids by using the same techniques. Do you understand, everyone? Yes, Hari?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Now that is why we people are having different kind of techniques. We have to use the different things. Call to Redira. Different techniques for different things. First of all, we should decide either it is a insoluble solid or soluble solid. Understand, Gokul? Johan? Respond. That is what it is. So based upon our mixture only, we should decide which separation techniques we have to use. So we people are having totally around 6 separation techniques for separating solid and a liquid. So let us study all the techniques one by one. All the mixtures containing a solid and a liquid, they are separated by any one of these following 6 techniques. So that is what we are going to study now. The first one is called as filtration. What is the first separation techniques, everybody?
Filtration.
Okay, so this is not a new thing for us. Second one is called as centrifugation. What is the second one? Centrifugation. Okay, next. Third one is called as evaporation. What is the third one? What is the third one? Evaporation. Next. Fourth one is called as crystallization. And fifth one is called as chromatography. Chromatography. And the sixth one is called as distillation. So distillation, again, one more thing is there. Distillation 2 types. What is the distillation 2 types? Anybody? Distillation 2 types. One is simple distillation. Another one is called as fractional distillation. Simple and fractional distillation. Okay. Yeah. So this is what it is. Now for our PT2, we people are having what kind of one? Anybody? Filtration we have, I think centrifugation we have, and chromatography we have. Is it necessary? And evaporation and crystallization also we can learn. The only thing which is not there for us is what? Distillation. Okay, so that we will study later. Understand? Who is this M? Can you tell me the name, please? I want to know the M. Who is that? Or else rename yourself. I understand everybody. Please respond. Ready? Hari, do you know who is that M?
No, sir.
Yeah, nobody knows, correct? Anybody knows? That's fine. So that is what. So this is what simple distillation, or we can say fractional distillation. So for our PT, what is the things are there, Mitakshri? Till chromatography, I think. Is it?
Yes, sir.
So now first one. First technique, let us take separation by filtration. What is that first technique? Everybody? Separation by filtration. Now you all people are having knowledge only. Now you people tell me separation by filtration, either we can use insoluble solid or soluble solid. Mr. Akil, Mr.
Insoluble.
Yes,
Sorry.
insoluble. So remember, a filtration is used for separating insoluble substances from a liquid. Please remember that and write it. Right. Filtration is used for Filtration is used for separating insoluble substances from a liquid. Separating soluble or insoluble? Insoluble solids from a liquid. Examples, anybody can give examples. Hey, open your mouth. You, Johan and Harini. I'm not going to tolerate anymore. Very, very serious. I'm saying. Yeah, let me give examples. Everybody. You all people know so many examples. Can I give the example? First one, sand and water. Sand and water mixture. Yes, please. Next others. Any other example? Harish, ready? Yes, please. Chalk and water. Can I give the chalk and water? Chalk powder. Yes, please.
Yes, sir.
Chalk powder and water. Next, any other example? You can give. Yes, please. Yes. Nobody will answer. Okay. So, a mixture of sand and water, chalk particles and water. These are all the things we can separate it by which one? Which phenomena? By using a technique called as filtration. But you can see filtration only can be used to separate what kind of mixture? Anybody can answer? What kind of mixture, guys? Yes, please. It will be used to separate by what kind of mixture? It is only used to separate by only a insoluble solid in a liquid. Understand everyone? Now, if you want to do the filtration technique, then please write it everybody, examples and all. Now, I will show you the picture. If you want to separate any kind of insoluble solid from a liquid, then we people need to know how to prepare the filtrate. You understand? So we need certain kind of instruments to do the filtration process. So first of all, if you want to go with the filtration paper, we want a filter paper. What we need? First one, we need what? Filter paper. Okay. Now everybody, for what substances we can use filtration? Everybody, answer to my question. What substances we can use for filtration? Only, yes, please. Soluble or insoluble solids? Insoluble solids in a liquid, we can use this technique. Now, if you want to do the filtration, first of all, you have to make this arrangement. So how to make the arrangement, you can see. We need one circular filter paper. This is what? A circular filter paper. So observe very carefully. So this is what it is, a circular filter paper. Now, first of all, you have to fold it into half. Understand, Mitakshri? You have to fold it into half. Next, you have to fold it into half, middle, you can see, and with a somewhere middle, we have to make it into a conical shape, like such a way. You have to make it into conical shape. And what is this name called as? Anybody can tell me this Y-shaped one? You all people knows. What is the Y-shaped one called as?
Funnel.
What we used to call funnel, we used to call as. So before going to do the filtration technique, now what mixture I have taken? Let me take a sand and water mixture. Sand and water mixture. So sand is a soluble or insoluble?
Insoluble.
Insoluble.
Soluble solid. So now I have to make this setup first in such a way. I have to take the funnel and I have to keep the filter paper according to the shape of the funnel, and I have to make it ready. So if you'll go to the lab, you have to make the things like this only. So take the filter paper, first fold, second fold, and filter paper cone. You have to make it the cone and you have to fix it. Cone is fitted in the funnel and you have to take this setup. Now next what you have to do means you have to take the sand and water mixture. What do you have to take, guys? Sand and water mixture. Now if we'll take the sand and water mixture, now with the help of a glass rod, you can see I will show you the setup, everything. So now what you people need to do means with the help of a setup, so now we have to take one beaker and you have to start pouring the sand and water mixture through that, so that it will start making, you can see, I will show you in the picture how to do the filtration process. Can you able to see my screen now? Hari, now everybody see that? Can you able to see the screen? Hello? Yeah. So I fixed the filter paper inside this one, and you can see I fitted this funnel to the stand. You can see that this is what we can say a stand, retard stand or whatever the stand. So I fit the funnel like this, and I have taken one beaker down of this this funnel, and you can see I started pouring a mixture of insoluble solid and liquid. So that is only called as what I have taken, sand and water mixture. Is it yes or no, everybody? So I have taken sand and water mixture. I started pouring through this funnel. Now I am taking here with the again glass rod. What is the purpose of glass rod? Anybody can tell? Omar, Akilan, Haris, Mitaksri. What is the purpose of? Yes.
Something that will look like a stick, sir.
It's not that. Listen, if I directly pour into the funnel, so funnel we're having some paper. What is the paper called as? You all people knows. What is the paper
Filter
called?
paper.
Yes, please.
Filter paper.
Filter paper. Now, if we'll pour with a forcefully, so that understanding the filter paper may damage, so it will cause us to fall down the sand again down. Is it yes or no, everyone? Yes. So that is why if I pour with the help of glass rod, so that the flow of the water and the sand will reduces. You can see first it will fall on the glass rod, then only it will enter into the funnel. So it will take slowly, so that the filter paper will never affected much, so that all the sand will be collected here. So the sand only, the insoluble solid only, we used to call it with some name. What is that name called as, everyone? What is the name called as? Residue. Please remember that. So the insoluble solid which is obtained in the funnel, is only called as what, guys? What is to call? Yes, please. Residue, we can understand. Now the pure water will pass us through this. Understanding, the pure water will pass us through that, and that water is collected in the beaker. So the clear water which is collected in the in the beaker down of the funnel is only we used to called as, what is that called as, everybody? We used to called as, yes please, filtrate. What is to call? the clear liquid which is obtained at the bottom of the funnel, that is what we used to call as filtrate. So what is this filtrate? Basically, you can take water. Yes or no? So if you take sand and water mixture, who is the clear liquid? Who is the clear liquid? Filtrate. Filtrate is the water. And who is the residue? Who is the residue? Who is the residue? Yes,
Sand, sir.
sand is the residue. Do you understand, all of you? Mr. Johan, Harini? So the insoluble solid is called as residue, and the clear liquid which will pass us is called as filtrate or clear liquid. Okay? So this is what the filtration technique. So filtration technique is only useful for insoluble solid is present in where? In liquid. Do you understand, everybody? So this is what it is, how the filtration technique will take place. So now this is how you have to remember. So the two words which you need to remember in filtration technique is, one is residue. So the solid, insoluble solid which is obtained in the funnel or filter paper is only called as residue, and the clear liquid which is obtained in the container, that is what we used to call as, what is that called as, everybody? Is called as, yes,
Filtrate.
is called as filtrate. So in our home also you will be doing this. How many of you know tea? Do you all people know tea? Yes, please. Tea. Nobody?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. You might be notice it. After making the tea, your mother will do the separation or not? Mr. Omar, Harish, Kaushik? No response, Kaushik. Yes or no? So she will do with the help of something. What is that? Anybody can tell me? Your mother will separate the tea from the tea stains or tea powder with the help of something. What is that called as? Strainer. Do you know strainer? Tea strainer? Yes, please. It will be like a plastic or it may be like a metal strainer. Yes or no? Nobody.
Yes.
Yes. So now see the pictures. So this is what our mother will prepare the tea. This is what we used to call as strainer. Yes or no? Yes. So we can say tea strainer, or we can say normal strainer. So whenever after preparing the tea, we don't want to get the tea powder and all. Only tea we want, pure liquid. So our mother will pour through this, so that what is happening? All the powder, tea powder, everything will stuck in this. Only you can see the pure liquid will pass us through that. That is what we can collect as a clear tea. So the clear tea is only we used to call as what? Filtrate. What we used to call? Filtrate we used to call as. Now the tea powder or tea leaves, everything will stop here. So that is what we used to call as. What we used to call? Anybody? We used to call as residue. Understand, everybody? We used to call as residue. Everybody should say, Akilan, have you understand, Akilan? Now, if you'll go to the milk shop, those who are selling villages and all, Reddy can knows maybe, or else Aris also, if you are villages, you can see, if it is a tea can, if it is a milk can, you can see, while you are, if you are selling the milk, you people can keep some kind of funnel here, that is what, like a strainer. So through this only they will pour the milk. Do you notice that inside? So all the dust and sand, whatever it is, while you are getting the milk from the cow, some kind of dust particles and all will fall down, leaves and all under the trees and all. So everything will be strained in this mess only. Have you noticed it? That is what like a like we can say like a mesh. It is like a filter, so that it will catch all the kinds of solid substances. Only it will pass the milk inside the can, so that we can be easily filtrate all the dust particles, wastage and all, etc. Yes or no? Arun, Kailash, Johan, Mitakshri? Yes? Nobody will answer. That is what it is.
Yes, sir.
Everywhere, if you want to separate insoluble solids from liquids, we have to use which technique? Which technique we can use?
Filtration.
Filtration. Understanding? So, even we use these tea leaves are separated from prepared by tea by the method of filtration only. So that is what. Now, if we take drinking water supply in our city, or in our, suppose you take our Pudukkottai or you take everywhere. So drinking water supply of drinking water in a city. So that is also we can use which techniques? Which techniques we can use? Filtration techniques on.
Filtration.
But along with the filtration, lot of other techniques also involved. That is what we can see. And as I told you in the last class 6, you will study sedimentation and decantation. Do you remember sedimentation and decantation? Yes, please.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So if you're undisturbed for some time, all the heavy solids will settle down. So that process is only called as sedimentation. Yes or no? Everyone? Yes, please. So this is what the technique we can say, ready. What is this called as? Supply of drinking water in a city. What is this? Supply of drinking water in a city. So how to do this one? Mitakshari, tell me. So water is coming from the reservoir. So you can take even Chennai city or Pudukkottai, whatever it is. So surrounding by the Pudukkottai will be having a water bodies. Yes or no? Yes or no? So all the municipal water. So municipal water has been taken from these reservoirs only. So now from the reservoir, that is what due to when the rain will comes, the water will be stored. The water will be stored in these reservoirs. So now from that reservoirs only, water will be collected by the municipal tanks. You can see a river or a lake or whatever it is, we used to call that a reservoir. Now they will take the water from that reservoir and it has been pumped with the help of pipes. It has been pumped to the which station? Which has been pumped to the which station? Everybody? It has been pumped to the pumping station. Understanding? So now water is present in the reservoir. Is it contains a lot of impurities or not? Everybody should answer. Is it contains a lot of impurities or not? Yes.
Yes, sir.
Pure water or impure water? Definitely impure water. Is it yes? Omar? Ready? Harini? Yes, Mr. Gokul? Yes or no? So now we have to filter it. We cannot drink. It is, see, our home, we are getting the water. It is not the pure water. So after a lot of filtration techniques we are going to do. So this entire process is called as filtration only. So from the reservoir, water will reach to the pumping station. So that is what we can say, municipal corporations and all. Now, from the pumping station, they will pass the water to the first tank. What is the first tank name? You should tell me, I should not. What is the first tank name? What is the
Sedimentation tank.
sedimentation tank? So what do you mean by sedimentation tank? Sedimentation tank means water will store in this and they will leave it for undisturbed. Leave it for what? Leave it for undisturbed. So, if they will leave it for undisturbed, so that what will happen? Everybody should answer. Leave it for undisturbed. What will happen, Mr. Johan? Yes, please. If they leave it for undisturbed, all the big size particles, what particles? Big size impurities will settle down. Understand, Hari? Yes or no? But you can see still all the impurities and bacteria and all, they will never settle down. Yes or no? Everybody, please respond. So the big particles alone, will settle down. So that is what we used to call as sediment. What we used to call? Others also respond. Akilan, we used to call as sediment. Understand? Now, all the heavy particles will settle down, but still some impurities will be remaining. Is it yes or no? Is it yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Nobody will answer. Now, so that impurities, they will never settle down. So it is very difficult to separate them. That is why we have to take it into another tank called as, what is the tank called as? What is the tank called?
Loading tank.
Loading tank. Understanding? Now, imagine what the loading tank will do means, imagine, for example, here, Reddy is swimming. Who is swimming here? ready swimming. Understand, Metakshri? Now, ready cannot settle down because as it ready is a light particle, he cannot settle down. Now, sedimentation tank, for example, let me take Omar. Omar is little heavy, so that sedimentation tank, he will be settled down, he will be separated. So what is that called as? We used to call it as what? Sediment. What we used to call? Sediment. Understand? Now, ready is very light particle, still he is not settled down and he is not going to settle down anymore. But I want to separate him or not? He is also impure. I want to separate him or not? Yes or no?
Sir.
Now,
Yes, sir.
what I will do means I will add a certain chemical. That chemical name is, let me take now, Mr. Johan. So now I will ask Johan to jump onto the ready so that now Reddy and Johan both will settle down. Is it right or wrong? So why they will settle down? That is what my question. Who will answer? Why they will settle down? When the Johan will jump onto the Reddy, why they will settle down? Before, why not? Yes, please. Somebody is answering. Reddy, heavyweight, very good. The same phenomena we are using here. Whenever Reddy is alone, Reddy is very light particle, so he don't have a stamina to settle down. Now, whenever Johan will jump onto the Hari, both become together, so their weight increases. Their weight increases. So when the weight increases, automatically they will settle very fastly. So that is only we used to call it as loading tank. So in loading tank, what we people will do means, we will take a chemical name called as alum. What is the chemical name? Everybody? What is the chemical name called as? Alum. So this alum is a chemical substance, will go and increase the mass of the substances, mass of the impurities, and it will make to join together. All the impurities will join together and they will be settled down. Is it okay, everybody? Please respond. Yes, please, Mr. Harish, Omar. Have you understand, Omar? What is the loading tank importance? Yes. So the light particles, the lightweight particles, it will take more time. It will take more time to settle down. It will take more time to settle down. So we're adding a chemical called as, what is the chemical name called as? Yes, please. Yes. It is alum. So alum is a chemical substance which will increase the rate of sedimentation. It will increase the what? Increase the rate of sedimentation. So it will add the weight to the particles which are very lightweight, and it will make the particles heavier so that the particles will settle down at faster. But still, some more impurities will be present along with the bacteria, virus, and other disease-causing organisms. So that is why we people need to pass this water to the next tank. That is only we used to call as. What is the tank called as? Here you can see. What is the tank called as?
Filtration tank.
It is called as filtration tank. Now, before that, I told you alum is added. Alum is added in what tank? Alum is added in what tank? Loading tank. That is what it is, to increase the rate of sedimentation. To increase the rate of sedimentation. Now you can see is alum is a type of chemical compound. Basically, we can say the general formula of alum is, please learn everybody, XAL2 dot 12H2O. What is the chemical formula of alum? XAL2 dot 12H2O. So this basically this X is called as, understanding, potassium. Basically, we can take what? We can take so many other compounds also, elements also. Basically, we'll take potassium so that the formula will turns into KAL2 dot 12H2O. So this is only called as alum. Do you understand, Hari? Reddy? So many times they'll ask you the formula. Metakshri, alum formula, please remember. Okay. So basically that X is varies, but a general more famous alum is potash alum. So that is why we'll take potassium is the X, but X is may take another substance also. Okay. So that name called as alum. What is this called as? Alum. Okay, ma? Yes, please. Everybody. So now the water is finally came into filtration tank. Which tank it came? Which tank? filtration tank. Now, this filtration tank is not new to you people. It is already well famous tank which is used in our from ancient time. You can see, notice it very carefully. Now, this filtration tank will be having a 3 different layers. How many different layers? How many different layers? Everybody. 3 different layers of particles. The first layer, topmost layer, you can see called as fine sand. What is the topmost layer? What is the topmost layer? Fine sand. Understand? And the middle one, we are having coarse sand, and the bottom we are having gravels. Gravels means like a stones. Understand? So, bottommost layer. What is the bottommost layer, Johan? Filtration of water, filter tank, gravels we can say like a stones. Understand? And the middle we are having a coarse sand. Understand? Like a small stones. And the top we are having fine sand. Top we are having what sand? Top we are having what sand? Fine sand. So that whenever the water will enter into this filtration tank, so that all the small particles and everything, most of the solid impurities will be settling in this tank, and only through the bottom surface the water will enter into the another tank. What is the tank called as, Mr. Reddy? What is the tank called as? Yes, please. What is the tank called as? Everybody. Chlorination tank. What is the tank? Chlorination tank. So you might be, all people knows what is the importance of chlorine. Mitakshri, can you tell me what is the importance of chlorine? Now, filtration tank contains 3 layers. What is the 3 layers? Filtration tank contains 3 layers. Everybody, what are the 3 layers? Fine sand, coarse sand, and as well as gravels. So once the water will passes through that, the finest sand particles, finest dust particles, everything will be filtered here. Only water will go into this. Understanding? Tank called as chlorination tank. Now, what is the importance of chlorination tank, Mr. Omar, Kaushik? You people knows. You can see solid impurities may be filtered by the filtration tank last, but disease causing organisms. Who is the disease causing organisms? Anybody can tell me?
Bacteria.
Yes, bacteria and virus, still they can pass through this, all the 3 layers also, and finally they will reach it to the chlorination tank. So that is why here will pass a certain gas. What is that gas called as? What is that gas called as? Chlorine gas. That is what chlorination tank. So this chlorine tank will pass the chlorine gas. So this chlorine gas will kill all the kind of disease causing bacteria and as well as virus and etc., and purify the water. So that purified water only will pumping to the pumping station. So from the pumping station it will go into the where? Water source tank, and from there it will pass us to the each house. It is like this. So from the reservoir to the house, whenever the water is reaching, this much big phenomena is involving. Have you understand, everyone? Please respond. Yes, Mr. Everybody. So filtration tank, what is the layers present in the filtration tank? Everybody, what is the 3 layers present in the filtration tank? All of you.
Fine sand, coarse sand, gravel.
Fine sand, coarse sand, and as well as gravels. Now, chlorination tank. What is the importance of chlorination tank? All of you answer. What is the importance of chlorination tank? Killing the disease causing organisms called as what? Disease causing organisms called as bacteria.
Bacteria and virus.
By passing which gas? By passing which gas? Chlorine gas.
Chlorine gas.
First I'm saying reservoirs to water will pump to pumping station. It will come to the sedimentation tank. So sedimentation tank, what will happen? All the heavy particles will settle down, or all the big size impurities will settle down. Now, from there, the water will come to the second tank. What is the second tank called as? What is second tank? Loading tank. So loading tank will increase the rate of sedimentation. What will do? Will increase the rate of sedimentation by using a chemical called as, what is the chemical name called as, Mr. Kaushik? Alum. So alum, the general formula of alum is this one. Now, still some more minute impure particles will be there. That will be along with the bacteria and all. It will be passing through the filtration tank. So this filtration tank having 3 different layers of fine sand, coarse sand and gravel. So that all the solid impurities will be filtered here. Now, from the bottom of this filtration tank, the water will pass us through the chlorination tank. Now, in this chlorination tank, maybe the disease causing bacteria and virus will reach to this chlorination tank because it is not possible to filter, so that we'll pass the chlorine gas and we'll try to kill all the disease causing microorganisms, and finally the water is ready for drinking. So that water will pump to the pumping stations, from the pumping stations to water storage tank, from the water storage tanks to our houses will come. That is water tap. So that is how the water will come from reservoir or river to the house. Have you understand, everyone? Please respond. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Yes. So please note it down everything, and this diagram also you have to learn. Sometimes you might get the question, draw the purification of water from the reservoirs to the home, and you have to explain every process also. So are we able to explain, Mitaksri, now? Are you clear?
Yes,
Yes.
sir.
That is what it is. So you must add, what is the importance of loading tank? Anybody can tell? Loading tank.
Sir, loading tank increase the rate of sedimentation, sir,
Yes.
by adding a chemical called alum.
By adding a chemical substance called as
Alum.
alum. Very good. Note it down. Meeting is going to end. Join fastly and we'll continue. Have you understand, everybody? Yes, please.
Yes, sir.
Is what it is. Next we are going to study centrifugation. After that, we are going to study evaporation. Later, chromatography and all we have to study. So do it fast, everybody.